Oh boy, we got another fun build for you guys today, okay? Because today we are going to raise the bar yet again. And who better to do it than Lian Li, the pioneer of the PC Master Race. ASUS has brought us advanced BTF for a cleaner and wireless look from the front. And now, ladies and gents, we have wireless fans and wireless strimmer cables. This is going to significantly reduce cable clutter in your build, and it's all done with a single wireless sync controller. So sit back and relax, grab your Kool-Aid, and let's begin. Okay, so today I'm building a gorgeous all-white and turquoise-themed 4K gaming and streaming PC. And in order to do that, we're gonna toss in the best gaming chip currently in the market, which is the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D processor, at least until AMD releases their 9800X 3D processor later this month. But we don't like to waste time here. Obviously, I can't wait till the end of the month to feature that CPU in here, so we're gonna get this build done either way. The most interesting thing is that Newegg shipped my CPU in this box. I actually bought the CPU 3 weeks ago and they sent me this weird security camera for some reason instead of my CPU. So I legitimately thought I got scammed by Newegg. So I emailed support and sure enough, they sent a replacement and this is their replacement. I don't even get the retail box for some reason. And this is the first time I'm opening this, so let's hope there's a processor in here. Okay, at least they have the inside box. Yeah, I mean, it appears to be brand new. We don't have the retail box, but I am completely fine with that. Now, the motherboard we are pairing the CPU with is none other than the brand new ROG Strix X870A gaming Wi-Fi. Let me just say, guys, damn! This has to be officially the sexiest motherboard in existence. I'm sorry, Aorus, have a seat. Okay, just here's a chair, have a seat. This absolutely dethrones the Aorus Elite AX Ice. It smells as majestic as it looks, boys and girls. But seriously, look at this board and tell me if I'm overreacting in the comment section down below. The entire PCB is white. We got the PCI slots as well that are white. I mean, this is not the cleanest board you've ever seen. Although I do have to say, they should have made the DIMM slots white and they should have made the retention brackets white as well, just like on the Aorus board, but still, it's a damn good looking board. We got some good looking beefy VRMs, dual 8-pin EPS sockets, 2 onboard PCI 5.0 M.2 slots, 2 USB 3 headers, and onboard Wi-Fi 7 connectivity. This is the future, ladies and gents. We're looking at it. Now, originally I was gonna toss in the new Ryzen 9 9900X processor with this board, but AMD's new 9000 series CPUs were a major flop in terms of gaming performance improvement, so we're sticking with the 7800X 3D processor, which is still the king currently. For the operating system, I'm going with Windows 11 Pro, but instead of paying $200 for a CD key, which is absolutely ridiculous, I snagged one dirt cheap from VIP or CDKey.com. They sell all sorts of keys, including Windows 10 and Windows 11. Using my code TS20 will drop the price down to around $21, so if you guys are grabbing a legit key, this is the best place to do it. Just remember, after checking out, go into the user center on the top right and click on your orders to reveal the key. Afterwards, just copy and paste this into the activation settings and you're good to go. For memory, we're keeping it very simple and tossing in a 32GB kit from T-Force. These are the Deltas with a 6000 MHz frequency and a seal timing of 30. 32 gigs is more than plenty to support all the newer titles in 2024 anyways, but we do have 2 extra DIMM slots to add 2 more sticks in the future if we need to. For storage, we're also keeping it very simple and we're tossing in a measly 8TB M.2 storage device from Sabrent, which should be enough to store all of my wife's feed pics library. Bruh. As always, let's go ahead and pull out my brand new 150-piece precision screwdriver kit, which has been out of stock for the past month, but by the time you're watching this video, we are finally getting some stock on Amazon. You guys can pick one up by clicking the link down below. And I just realized, actually, we don't even need this. There's a tab that says push. Does it just come right up? Oh, that is so much better than the Q-latch system. Wow, Asus is definitely stepping it up. I'm gonna do this one more. Check this out, guys. How satisfying is this? Wow, okay, okay. Oh, you can just snap the SSD there too. You don't even need any screws. Oh my God. Why haven't you guys thought of this sooner? This is amazing. Look at that. No tools needed. That's awesome. All right, so the case we're building in today is the brand new O11 Vision Compact from Lian Li. This is basically a new bite-sized version of the original O11 Vision, but with some new tasty features. First and foremost, it comes with a swappable mesh panel on the top if you decide you want to add some fans or a radiator on the top. But honestly, if you ask me, that kind of defeats the purpose of the O11 Vision. If you're gonna add a mesh panel on the top to add a radiator or fans, why not just go with the regular O11D Evo? And just like the previous O11 Vision, you can also stack up to two 120mm fans in the back. However, they did make it easier to install an extra display back here with the added rear pass-through grommet. Aside from that, the case now supports BTF motherboards with tons of cutouts on the motherboard tray and routing channel to hide tubing into the second chamber. That's what this giant grommet is for. You can easily pass through the entire pump for a cleaner look. Speaking of the pump, we're gonna be tossing in the brand new HydroShift LCD 360 AIO, but this one doesn't come with any fans. And let me tell you why this is a genius move by Lian Li. Every single AIO that you buy comes with fans already included, which forces you to use the included fans, meaning you're forced to buy the exact same fans for the rest of the build if you want them to all match. And you know what? Even if you decide that you don't want to use the fans that come with your AIO, you still paid for them. So at least this way, you pay a little less for the entire AIO package and you can use any fan that you want. That way your entire build is cohesive. That's why this is genius. I think there's a bit of a spelling issue, Lian Li. You guys wrote cup on here instead of CPU, I'm assuming? All right, now let's think about the fan configuration for this system. And this is where it gets a little tricky because we don't have the top bracket to work with, which is where we normally would put exhaust fans. So we're gonna have to use up the two slots in the back as our exhaust. This leaves the bottom three for intake. We're gonna do another three on the radiator on the side here for intake. So that gives us 6 intake and only 2 exhaust. It's gonna give us quite a bit of positive pressure inside the case, but like I always say, better positive than negative. So this is where the new wireless fans from Lian Li come in play. We got 2 new sets of wireless fans. We got the LCD version and then we got the non-LCD version. And each of these can come in the standard blade and the reverse blade options. All right, let's go ahead and pop open the triple pack of the reverse blade LCD, because I want to put these over there on the side where the radiator is. That way it's a lot easier to see the screen as opposed to putting these fans flat on the bottom of the case. I think it makes the most sense over there on the side. Okay, so there is a new design to the SL wireless fans. We got the usual ARGB zone lighting that goes around the fan for both the front and the back, just like the previous SLs. However, they added one more very slim lighting zone on the top and bottom. Just like the previous Unifans, you can also daisy chain them together up to 4 fans, and the cool thing is that you can mix and match them if you please. So as an example, you can connect 2 LCD fans and 2 non-LCD fans together in a group, but keep in mind you can only hook up 3 LCD fans in a single group. Now this little device is what is going to change the game and provide a wireless experience with these fans. The L Wireless Sync Controller. With this, we can control both the LCD screen and the lighting effects via 2.4 GHz transmission. All right, let's go ahead and pop open the non-LCDs. These will be going on the bottom as intake, and they're reverse blade, so it's gonna look nice because we're not gonna see the back end of the fans. So basically, same exact fan, it's just missing the LCD screen in the middle, of course. Now, to be clear, I don't think computer fans can ever really be truly wireless, right? Because you do need some power to run the fans, unless it's like rechargeable or battery powered, which doesn't make any sense for computer fans. Well, that's why Lian Li made this cable. It's a single PWM cable with an integrated receiver that's built into the clip, and this gets attached to a set of fans. If you only have 1 set of cables, then you only need 1 fan. If you have 2 sets, then you need 2, so on and so forth. The other end simply plugs into the PMW fan header on your motherboard, and this is to simply supply power to the fans. Now, if you have a set of LCD fans, you're gonna need a different type of cable. Even if you have only one LCD combined with a non-LCD, you're still gonna need to use this cable. This one also has a PWM cable plus a USB 2 header cable for additional power. Alternatively, if your fans are pulling in too much power and your motherboard simply can't keep up with it, then you can use this SATA cable adapter instead. But yeah, I mean, technically it's not really wireless, but it replaces the need for ARGB hubs. Like this single cable over here replaces this entire monstrosity. And the whole point is to minimize cable clutter in your build so you have an aesthetically pleasing PC, but also it reduces the headache of having to plug in additional cables. So let's go to figure out the AIO situation. I do want to use this grommet to pass through the pump and the tubes. I feel like it will really clean up the build, plus it's something new. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to go in from the back. So we'll have to do something like this. And we have to install the fans in the front here, something like this. Or we can just go in from the back entirely, put the fans on the radiator, and then just slide it in. I think the fans in the front will look nicer, to be honest. Yeah, this is... Oh, Jesus Lord. No! Okay, we're fine. The fans just snapped off, but... Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, the fan snapped off, but we are good to go. If anything, that just tested the rigidity of the Lian Li fans. Okay, so taking a look here in the back, we can kind of see how we're going to be running the tubes towards the back of the case. So first things first, we're gonna have to remove this SSD tray. And now we have access to these two grooves. There's a larger one on the top, and then there's a smaller one right underneath that. So the tubes would essentially go through this section, and the pump would go through this giant grommet. If you're going from the top, we're gonna have a lot, and I mean a lot, of cable slack, as you guys can see. So let's try going in from the second one. And then I guess we just pass through the grommets. That's crazy. It's a better way to do this because we have a ton of cables still that we have to run through the top. I'm thinking we do this. No, it looks weird. Let's go in from the top. Maybe we need that extra cable slack. This doesn't look too bad. It's more of a natural curve from the top. So, I mean, it's either that or the top side. At least this way the cables would be at the top. Oh, this one's tough. I don't know. This one's tough. This one is definitely tough. I kind of want to go with this orientation. No, let's go with the cables in the top. I mean, there's pros and cons to each orientation. Let's just go with this. And then we could route the cables towards the back. There we go. I still think it looks cleaner this way as opposed to the tubes running from the radiator across the motherboard tray and into the CPU. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, that's for sure. All right, we finished installing all the fans inside the case. Now let's give it some juice, okay? We're gonna be going with some high-end specs, so a 1,000-watt power supply makes the most sense. Guys, I've been dying to get my hands on the ROG Strix Aura White Edition, but it's almost impossible to find one. But Asus has blessed me with a unit, so huge thank you to Asus. First time unboxing this ever, you guys. Let's see what it looks like in person. Oh, baby. Oh, it feels so different compared to the other power supplies. Is this encased in aluminum? It really is. Yeah, we have an 80+ gold certified, fully modular power supply that's encased in aluminum, you guys. First time I'm seeing this in a power supply. Okay, but the question is, are the cables sleeved? That is the big question. No, they're not sleeved, okay. But we do have white connectors, so that's cool. And you know what I'm noticing too? Like the white color on the cables is completely different than the white case that we have. It's more of a milky white as opposed to like a frost or snow white. You can see the difference on the connectors and also with the case. So I don't know if we can use these. We're gonna have to definitely go with some extension cables to cover these up. And for the graphics card, we are going with the ROG Strix 4080 Super in white, obviously to match the color scheme of the build. Even till today, honestly, this is still my favorite graphics card in the market. The 40 series Strix from Asus, mostly because of the really awesome and beefy cooler design, but also the top of the line performance that you get. Oh yeah, baby. Here we go again. On top of NVIDIA DLSS 3 support, you get the best GPU cooler in the market thanks to its axial tech fan design in combination with their patented vapor chamber with milled heat spreader that lowers GPU temps. To put it simply, I wouldn't put any other graphics card in this build. You know, this included sag bracket is actually going to come in handy, and I like this design a lot more compared to the other cases because it's not attached to the motherboard tray itself, but actually towards the back of the case, so it's nice and hidden. And it's very easy to adjust. So all you got to do is loosen a thumb screw, and then we can slide it up or down. So you can adjust it even after the card is installed. All right, and to finally finish up the build, we're gonna be adding in the brand new wireless Strimers. We got one for the 24 pin, and then we got one for the 12 VH power cable for the graphics card. However, they do make them for the CPU as well, but personally, I think that's a bit overkill considering the EPS connectors on the motherboard are usually tucked away in the corner. And in most cases, you will run into clearance issues because these are much thicker than regular power supply cables. I would say the CPU Strimers are specifically designed for the O11D cases and especially the O11 Vision where you have so much more clearance on the top. Oh yeah, these are so much cleaner. Look at this. No cables whatsoever. Look at the difference already. You don't have this cable sticking out of it. It's shorter. And this whole piece with the controller, obviously, replaces all of this. That's crazy. Speaking of sync controllers, you can only use one per system, and this can control up to 10 devices or 10 channels. One Strimmer is considered a channel. A set of fans is also considered a channel. So if you combine a Strimmer plus a group of fans, you have 2 channels, and this can support up to 10. So you can mix and match and you're pretty much covered for every possible combination. So if we take a closer look at the previous 24-pin Strimmer, we can see some major design changes. So first off, the connector end, as you can see here, has been shortened for a cleaner aesthetic, and with this you can do tighter bends. More notably, the lighting guides wrap around the power cables to conceal them, and the diffusing strips reach the sides to spread out the lighting. So the RGB kind of just wraps around the entire Strimmer cables, and it's gonna look nice regardless of what angle you look at it. With this, you're not gonna see any more dead zones, essentially. Now, if we take a look at the graphics card Strimmer, we can see pretty much the same exact design. However, at the tip, we now have a right angle connector, which is going to make it so much easier to plug in graphics cards that are installed horizontally. I wouldn't recommend this vertically because, you know, most of the graphics card is going to block out the Strimmer anyways. But if you're installing the GPU in a traditional horizontal slot, then this will come in very, very handy. All right, the PC is done, and oh my lord, does this look stunning or what, you guys? I feel like the O11 Vision series from Lian Li is slowly but surely growing on me. Like, who knew adding an extra glass panel on the top makes a huge difference in terms of aesthetics. I feel like this has to be in my top 5 all-time cleanest builds of 2024. I think it came out looking incredible. But yeah, so a few changes I did with the PC last minute where I swapped the black connectors from the wireless streamers to the white ones, so it blends in a lot better. We now have this perfect uniformity across the entire system. Also, I do have to say that it looks much cleaner without the AIO tubes going across the case. It definitely looks less busy with the tubing coming in from the back of the case, but it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. You know, some people really like the look of the tubes, others don't. The temperatures were so cool, I thought it was a custom water-cooled build. I mean, the CPU peaked at 63 degrees Celsius, while the GPU didn't even budge over 53 C. With temps like these, the only reason anyone would go custom water cooling is purely for aesthetics at this point. Now let's talk about the wireless streamer and the fans real quick. It feels so weird to see so much empty space in the back of the case. Like, this is all still new to me, and I feel like we're moving towards a future where we will use less and less cables. I feel like this is gonna be the norm in 2024. Lian Li has started this trend, and we're gonna see a bunch of other manufacturers soon to follow. Just think, normally I would have used 2 controllers, one for both my streamers and one more for my fans. And each controller has 3 cables coming out of it. So 2 controllers and 6 cables for my fans and streamers. All of that got replaced with only 3 cables in just 1 sync controller, which I plugged in the back of the case. Speaking of the sync controller, Lian Li's L-Connect 3 software makes it extremely easy to control all of your Lian Li devices on just one app. And the best part is that it will automatically detect the wireless components and bind them together. The Streamer Wireless has its own section where you can change the colors and effects. And the same goes with the wireless fans. Each channel of fans are separated into groups, so it's easier to control them. I do have to mention though, the software I'm using currently is still in beta, and there are a lot of bugs I encountered while trying to change the colors of the fans and the streamers. However, all the bugs will be ironed out before it's released to the public. In hindsight, I completely forgot to factor in that the graphics card, after being plugged in, will block the bottom right fan, so it kind of makes the LCD fan useless, but for the sake of uniformity and making sure, you know, everything is consistent, I still went with the LCD fan regardless. I mean, the top 2 are still visible, so it's not a big deal. Links to everything I use in the PC will be posted in the description section down below. If you guys are enjoying these PC builds, feel free to toss a like and subscribe because I got a ton more builds coming your way for the next few months. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.